working on example 3, and we're going to turn that trinomial into a polynomial of 4 terms so that we can factor by grouping. So we found our terms, the ones in here, because 13 is equal to -1 plus 14. So now I make the first group 2x squared minus x. My second group is 14x minus 7. Now, what is the GCF of the first group? Just x. So if we factor x from 2x squared, what do we get? 2x. Remember, if you don't remember, 2x divided by x, and so that is equal to 2x. Because what do you do with the exponents here? Subtract, right? So 2x. Now negative x divided by x is -1. What is the GCF here? Is it 7 or 7x? Why is it not 7x? Okay, very good. 7. So we factor out 7 from 14x, we get 2x. Factor out 7 from -7, we get -1. Now, just to finish this up, the first factor of the polynomial is going to be that binomial in common. 2x minus 1. And how do we find our other binomial?
You add the 1
So x plus 7. Yes. Another thing, I don't want to hear you guys being like, ugh. Make sure you guys go to bed early the night before so you're not tired, or drink some caffeine before you come to my class. Okay? No falling asleep, because then I get penalized for that. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Dress like a clown and perform? All right. Next problem, guys.
So you get points taken off.
Yes. Yes.
What is this for?
Every teacher gets evaluated every year. Okay. Oh yeah. We're gonna use the same idea, so we're gonna take 10 multiplied by -3, and so that will be -30. Why did I choose 10 and -3? First and the last, yes. Now, factors of 30, we have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. What else?
6 and 5.
5 and 6. Remember, I like to list the small first and then the large. Okay, but we have -30, so we know it's one of each, right? Positive and a negative. Which one will carry the negative sign? The small or the large? The largest absolute value, so that's the right side column. So if this column is negative, then the other column is positive. Now, which combination gives me -13? 2 and -15. Okay, so 10x squared plus 2. Now look at what I'm going to do. Instead of just saying 2x, I'm going to use the same terms or variables that I have here. So it will be 2xy. The next one, I used -15 for the coefficient, so -15xy. And then lastly, we have -3y squared. Now we're going to do the same idea, factor by grouping. So we make the first group 10x squared plus 2xy plus plus negative 15xy minus 3y squared. Okay, now I want you guys to try to factor that one on your own by grouping. So find the GCF of 10x squared plus 2xy. So a number that could be divided by 10 and also by 2. Remember, if one number divides the other, then that number is your GCF. All right, Matthew, what is the GCF of the first one? No. What number can divide 10 and also 2? 2. And the variable to the smallest power? X. So just 2x, right? Why do we not use xy? So this one doesn't, right? Okay. So we factor 2x, we get 5x plus y. Yes? All right, what's the GCF on the next one? Devin? Negative 3y. Now here we could have chosen to use positive 3y, but if we do that, then we will get negative 5x and then negative y. And that is not what we want, right? Because that wouldn't be the same as the other binomial. So instead of that, we do what Devin told us and use negative 3y. So if we factor negative 3y from here, we will get positive 5x. And if we factor negative 3y from here, remember, if you don't know, if you're not sure, write it down. So that will be just positive y. And are we done? Almost, almost. So the first factor becomes the binomial in common. And my second factor is going to be what? So 2x minus 3y. All right. So next thing. Okay, so we're going to use the same idea. Take the 3, take the negative 8, multiply them. So we get negative 24. Factors of negative 24, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and that's it, right? Since this sign is negative, that means that the column with the numbers with the bigger absolute value will carry the negative sign, and therefore the other column will carry the positive sign. Which combination gives me negative 5? Come on, guys. 3 and negative 8, no? Okay. So now the trinomial will become a polynomial of 4 terms. So we will use plus 3. Now, what should be the variable that I use here? It's not going to be x by itself. X squared. Because this term in the middle has an x squared. So plus 3x minus 8x squared minus 8. And then we do the factoring by grouping. I'm going to go a little faster because we're almost out of time. So if I factor out 3x to the 4 plus 3x squared, and then I make another group here, 8x squared, negative minus 8. So in this case, we'll have 3x squared times x squared plus 1. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and factor out a negative 8. So I will get x squared plus 1. So my two factors will be x squared plus 1, and the other one, 3x squared minus 8. Okay, let's look at this one here. Is there a GCF, something that we could factor out to make our life easier?
6.
The 6. Well, 6 does not divide 40.
4.
6 cannot be divided by 4.
2.
2.
4.
And which variable? X squared, because we take the smallest exponent. So we factor out 2x squared. From here, it will be 12x squared. From here, it will be 20x. And from here, it will be plus 3. Now, we're going to do the same idea here and here. So we get the product of 12 times 3, that is 36. Factors of 36 is 1 and 36. 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. They're all positive, which combination gives me positive 20? 2 and 18, right here. So we're going to break this trinomial using those new coefficients. So 12x squared plus 2x plus 18x plus 3. So we make our two groups. And then I want you guys to factor out the GCF, please, of each group. Actually, I already took the GCF out for you. You just need to complete it. So remember, it's like you're dividing. Okay, so factor 2x from here, I will get 6x. From here, I will get plus 1. Then factor out 3 from here, I will get 6x. From here, I will get plus 1. So now to finish my factorization, take the binomial in common, this one here, and then 2x plus 3. But I want you guys to notice how from the beginning, I factor out that GCF, this one that you see here, and then I still carry that factor until the end. Okay, you cannot lose that factor. You might have some questions like that on your quiz. All right. This one here, the trick for it is to factor out a -1. And so once I factor a -1 from here, that turns into positive 6x squared. This one turns into positive 13x. and this one turns into a negative 5. From there, you follow the same idea that we've been doing. I want to skip that one because we have about 3 minutes left, and I really want to get to this part. So, perfect trinomial square or perfect square trinomial, they come from squaring a binomial, just like you see here. And so those are very easy to factor. If you recognize that your first term is a perfect square and your second term is also a perfect square, then you could take the square root of x squared, the square root of 36. And so it will look like this. X, 6, 6. And how are our signs going to be? Both positive, right? Now that is one way. Another way is to just say x plus 6 squared. And in fact, someone told me that Alex was counting this answer wrong. Did you guys encounter that problem? But it was counting that one right. So if that happened to you, make sure you go back and correct them. Okay, if we were to check it, we will have x times 6, 6x, and then 6 times x, another 6x. So in total, we have 12x. So you guys notice right here we have 2 times the product of one term times the other. Okay, so let's finish this one quickly. And so again, it is a perfect trinomial square. So what is the square root of 25x squared? 5x. So that will go here and here. And what is the square root of 4y squared? 2y. Are they all going to be positive, both negative? What do you guys think? Both positive. So that could be the answer, or 5x plus 2y squared. Okay?